Welcome to Rooted in Liberty, the podcast where small town stories meet unbelievable truths. Here, we sit back, relax, and share the kind of tales you just can't make up. These are the true, yet extraordinary moments from our own lives. Stories that could only happen in a place like Liberty, Kentucky.
Hey, welcome back to Rooted in Liberty podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Tanner.
We got my baby brother, my big baby brother back with us.
Big baby brother.
And
the celebrity.
We were just going on about one of the episodes Tanner was on about the guard turkey. A lot of people seem to have liked that and had some comments. Had a guy comment and say that he had back in the 80s down in, he said Bama, and I'm guessing that's Alabama. He said that an old man, and he gave his name, but I don't remember it. He said that the old man had a guard turkey, and if it couldn't attack you, it would attack its reflection in the bumper of your car, like a chrome bumper reflection. And so we were talking, we might get us a couple turkeys and train them up.
That's what we need at the church.
Well, I mean, if we had one in here, we could have one in here. And just about need a stuffed one though.
Stuff. Like a fly.
Well, you remember Steve, Uncle Steve?
Yeah.
He may still have it, used to have a full body stuffed turkey.
That thing would be massive.
It was in his bedroom. I remember years ago when I was a kid seeing it, and he had it sitting up on a pedestal or whatever, but it was a gobbler in full strut.
Oh, yeah.
It's a beautiful mountain.
I look good.
Thing go right there.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all may not have noticed, but we're in a little different setting today.
We're not freezing.
It's actually warm in here.
Yeah.
We're in my basement in a room.
Studio V.
Well, this could be Studio A now.
Okay.
It don't matter.
It's your basement.
We'll call it
your basement.
We'll name it the something room.
All right.
Y'all tell me your favorite little catchy name for my room here.
Yep.
But it works. It's just a little like a 12 by 12 room, and we got some lighting going on here, and we're making do.
Yeah.
But it's warmer, and we're not freezing. We don't have heaters running.
We're gonna be sweating.
Yeah.
You're gonna see us start stripping off our hoodies.
Yeah.
But
any highlights, anything you need to say before?
that video on Facebook, the reel of him talking about the turkey.
Yeah.
It's almost at 69.2 thousand views.
69. Okay.
It's got 3,000 views today. I checked it this morning.
17 shares.
I'm gonna look on TikTok just because I can. I know it don't have that many. Now,
I think it was almost 15.
hold on.
That's one thing I hate. I wish when you search something on TikTok, I hate that it is whatever video it's right in you.
Yeah. So the video you're talking about, I don't know which one it is. I'm not going to click on it and go through them.
It should be
Let me just do it. I'll turn my volume down that way. 1,500, that's the motorcycle.
right.
Went green. Lost and found, dirt bike, guard turkey. 6,058 views.
Yeah.
So now we got that one on there that I got pinned. It's got almost 40,000 views.
Yeah.
It's about the wrong vehicle I went to that time. So
That was a classic.
So
The one that took you too long to tell it.
It did.
yeah, somebody got aggravated because let's get on a rant there. Somebody got aggravated because my short wasn't short enough. But you can't please them all.
On YouTube short, it's at 15,000.
Okay.
So
Well,
we
good.
kind of looked through today, and I text Josh, said, "Hey, tell me what." He's our TikTok manager. That's your role. Your official TikTok manager.
Yeah.
And then I do everything else. And
Pretty much. I'm just a pretty face.
my equipment. So that was one thing. We had to bring everything over his house. I'm a little nervous, Tanner, about leaving some of this stuff at his house. Because, I'm making on Facebook Marketplace later. I'm going to see a podcast studio for sale.
How much is that camera worth?
Rent it out. I'm just going to rent it out. Rent out the room. And the
Right. Edwards Trees and Podcast Service.
Yeah.
But
how many on
So,
all five, whatever?
yeah,
platforms?
we're on the TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. And then with Apple podcasts and Spotify, we kind of added out all our views and listens, and it was like 245,000.
245,000
Kind of
views or plays.
So this is episode 8 too. So
yeah, can't beat that.
No.
Hey, I hope it keeps going.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that'd be great if I quit my job and just
But talk
for a living. I love talking. You know, I don't ever meet a stranger. I'll if I see you out,
yeah.
you know, I'm gonna speak to you. Hi, how you doing? Whatever. You know how it is. Sometimes it's awkward. You be walking through a grocery store and you lock eyes with the person you're about to meet, and a lot of people they just do a little whatever,
right.
you know, a little faint hi, and I'm like, howdy, how you doing?
All right. And if he really knows you, he'll say, hello, pig.
Hello, pig. So, and I like to be loud, I guess, for one, and I like to be nice to people, and I'm going to be that guy that starts the conversation.
Yeah. He ain't going to be the one to end it.
Now, Josh will talk to you. I'll offer you a ride.
Tanner's secret call. Dude, you should get you work for Uber or something.
I'll start my own Uber service.
Right.
Figure out what to call it.
Yeah. They got that one in Liberty, the red, white, and
blue taxi. So
I did see their van. I was heading to Nashville and we passed it there what's the parkway there off Cumberland? I was like, oh, they're from Liberty.
Yeah.
But
I didn't know. I didn't know we had a taxi service.
Yeah. They used to live up on Dry Ridge. I used to deliver their mail. I can't remember their name.
I thought they lived over there by the radio station. That's what I thought.
Dry Ridge.
That's Dry Ridge.
Yeah.
I don't know all these like proper names of the roads.
What's the road number?
I don't know. I don't even know what your road number is. I don't even want to say where Josh lives because people are going to come looking for our equipment.
I couldn't tell you the road number here.
It's like
1859.
There we go. I remember that year.
Chicken Gizzard. Y'all ever heard of Chicken Gizzard?
All right.
See, in Case County, we got a lot, and there's probably rural America.
Yeah.
There's all these funky names. There's community names, like, you know, like we grew up on 1547 up here, and from one old gas station to the next, that little 2-mile stretch was called Bush Hog Ridge.
Okay.
Now, why? I have no idea, and most people that call it that now are dead.
Okay.
But I've run into people and they say, where are you from? And I say, I'm from over on 1547, Bush Hog Ridge. And I say, yeah. So it's like,
you can tell they're old.
Yeah. From 49 down to Dean's Grocery was McFarland Ridge.
Okay.
That's all the same road, McFarland Ridge. From Dean's Grocery to Johnson's Grocery is Bush Hog Ridge.
Okay.
And then from Johnson's Grocery to down that stretch was called Allentown Stretch.
I heard about that.
And then you've got the hill, that's White Oak.
Okay.
And then I don't know you get top of White Oak on the other side, I don't know what you call all that.
Tennessee Ridge there.
Yeah, I don't know what all that's
okay
categorized as.
Well, you know what? I'm glad because this is a podcast based on Liberty. And guess what? I'm not rooted here. I'm implanted. So
transplanted.
I knew it was something like that.
Yeah. Well, y'all here for stories.
Yeah.
We might as well get started and quit jibber jabbering. Tanner, I know you've got a story in mind, and you can start off with whatever, and we'll just build off of it. And hey, real quick, I got one little thing I want to say. You notice we're all wearing hats, right?
Yeah.
Now, Chris, he's got the $5 Bass Pro hat that everybody and their brother has owned at one point in time.
Tanner's got the Goodwill special.
Tanner,
Hey, it's Walmart special.
yeah. Tanner's, he's got a work hat on. Now, I've got on a Farmer's Bank hat I got the other day. But my point being, send me a hat. I love wearing hats, and I will wear your hat on here. Send me a hat with a little note in there saying, hey, this is so-and-so. If this is my business, and I want you to promote me on your podcast.
Hang on. But don't tell them your address. We're going to have people showing up here. You're going to have to make a P.O. box.
Send it to the church.
There you go. Send it to my church.
Yeah.
Want to get my address?
Sure.
2330 Wilson Ridge Road, Liberty, Kentucky, 42539. I used to be a mailman. See?
There you
go. Send it there, and
we'll put in the attention rooted in Liberty. All right.
I had thought, but I ain't going to say it.
All right.
You'll get mad at me.
Oh.
Yeah, send it there, and I'll wear your hat, or send us 3 or 4 of them.
Right.
We'll promote you.
We'll
send you a, make sure your address is on there. We may send you a little sticker that you can put on your car.
Yeah. You got some business cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Never
We're
Jabber. We got to get started on the story.
If it's something, it's all right. If it's something cool, I'm keeping it. You're not going to get it.
No. Send more than one. This is my idea.
We're going to have a hat collection here.
Yeah, and
Maybe.
we can hang them up. But I love hats. Love wearing hats. Love free hats. So
Free hats.
I don't like buying hats.
I saw a thing on Facebook. It was like, the only reason I buy that tool or whatever is for the free sticker or free hat.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, go ahead, story time.
Let's hear a story, Tanner.
Well, all right. Well, I was going to start off by asking Chris here. So,
It all started a long, long time ago.
well, have you ever caught fire? Have you ever caught yourself on fire?
Fire. Fire. It all started a long time, far, far away from here. Anyways, have I ever caught myself on fire? No. But I got a story on that about being around somebody catching themselves on fire.
All right. Well, I've been told that I've caught myself on fire more than the average person. And that kind of comes into this. Second question, last question. Have you ever eaten roadkill?
Mm-hmm. And I know Texas Roadhouse has some on their menu called Roadkill.
Nah, you got to pick this up off a ditch. Or out of the ditch.
Out of the ditch fresh.
All right, so story goes, like I said, I've caught myself on fire more than the average person. Not just little flames. I mean, are you talking like half shirt gone before you realized it? Because I'm welding.
You know, you're not supposed to fall asleep with a cigarette.
No, I was welding along, and my face started getting real hot, and I looked and flipped my hood up, and this whole half my shirt's gone. Another time, I lit the pants on fire, phone melted, like the case started to melt before I realized it. But this time, the story time, it was
Okay.
me and my wife, we had been living together for about a year, and we'd moved down to our grandpa's old farmhouse.
Okay.
Well, we're moving in. You got boxes and trash and everything, so I take it out to the burn barrel. You know what a burn barrel is?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Took a bunch of stuff out the burn barrel, and I stuff it down in there. And I got a lighter, and I'm trying to get the stuff lit, and it won't light because the wind's blowing.
Well, it's aggravating.
Yeah. So I got mad, and I went across the road to grab me a thing of gas, and I come back over, and I poured a little bit of gas in it. And I was mad, so I wasn't thinking right. So instead of lighting something on fire and throwing it in there, I just bent over top that burn barrel, reached my hand down in there about halfway, and I struck that lighter. And if you don't know, gas don't burn, gas fumes burn. And when they're in an enclosed spot, it ignites forcefully.
Okay.
Rapidly.
So whenever I struck it, I went airborne, and I landed behind me about 10 foot because it just blew up.
Kaboom.
I must have put too much gas in it, I guess.
All right.
But I landed on my back, and here I'm laying like, what just happened? And I sit up, I'm looking, the fire's going good. I can just smell burnt hair, skin, and everything else.
Is that the one time you went beardless?
No, I've shaved. I don't know. I've shaved once since then. Maybe.
His kindergarten picture, Josh.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But, so I get up, and whenever I kind of rolled over, pushed myself up, I realized from the pinky and ring finger, that last knuckle, back to about my wrist, the skin was laid back on my arm. It burnt pretty good. Half my beard, my right side of my face, that half my beard was gone. So I got up, a gas can, it's laying sitting right beside the fire.
No.
So I grabbed it. And luckily, my mother-in-law, she was a paramedic at the time. She was helping us move in. So I walk up front porch, and I set that gas can down. I said, I'm glad you're here. She said, why? I just held my hand up, my skin flap just kind of fell over. She said, what'd you do? I said, I burnt myself back there, blew myself up, really.
What must?
She said, Do y'all have any burn cream? I said, I don't think we got a Band-Aid.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
we're 20 years old.
All right. Who's got a first aid?
Yeah. So she said, well, what about your mama? I said, I don't know. So I called Mom. I don't know if she didn't answer or she told me to go up to Biscuit and Alicia's because she didn't think she had none.
Gotcha.
So get in the truck. I drive up there to Biscuit and Alicia's. No, I called Dad.
All right.
Kaylee called Mom. I done left. I get up there, Biscuit and Alicia wasn't home, and Dad passed, so I followed him back to his house. I'm sitting there running that cold water over it.
And this makes me hurt.
Yeah.
Well, Kaylee had called Mom. Well, Mom didn't have good reception.
Okay.
And the only thing she heard was gasoline,
And
Tanner,
fire.
burned, and so her mind just went to the worst possible thing. I'm losing an arm or something.
You're on the church's prayer list already.
Yeah. So Mom, I guess she went to CVS and raided their burn cream. And she got home and she's like, here, put this stuff on it. And I put that stuff on it. It lit me up, burning. I washed it off. And then she said, well, I found this on Pinterest, Charlie. She poured honey all over my hand. It was worse than whatever that medicine was. It lit me up.
Because it just sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't get it out.
Yeah. So I finally got that stuff washed off, and Kaylee got up there. And she said, Mom went home, and she said she's got some Silverdine. It's
What?
It's called Silverdine. It's a burn cream, like hospital grade burn cream. But she was in Lancaster. It was about 45-minute drive.
Gotcha.
So we got a Kool-Aid pitcher.
Yeah.
And filled it full of ice water. And I rode with my hand in this jug of ice water like this all the way to Don's Marathon. And when the ice melted and it started burning, so we stopped, got some more ice put in it, went on up to Lancaster.
Yeah.
And she was there. She had that Silverdine stuff. Put it on there. Within 2 or 3 minutes, it quit burning. Felt good. It's the best stuff ever for a burn.
All right.
So, at this time, I'm welding at Tartar's on second shift. And when you get a burn like that, I didn't go to doctor until about a week later. It started getting infected. And finally went to the doctor, and he said it was a severe 2nd degree, borderline 3rd degree burn.
Well, yeah.
But he gave me some antibiotics, and I took a couple of them, I think, but not all of them. And it ended up healing up good. Didn't really even scar very bad. But I'm welding at the time. Well, I'm right-handed, so you're all the time welding. It's hot. It hurts bad. So I've got it wrapped up, leather glove, heat shield over the glove.
Trying to keep it.
Trying to weld left-handed, and I'm not left-handed, so it just hurt.
All right.
Well,
They're probably thinking, who did these welds?
yeah, I guarantee it.
Where's the new guy at?
So at the time, so my buddy, he blew his truck up, so I'm picking him up for work, taking him home, and we welded together. And our weld helper, he kind of did the grinding for us and loaded our parts up. He couldn't drive. He'd had like 10 or 11 DUIs. And but either I would take him home, because he lived up there off of Wilson Ridge on Hopewell Road.
Yeah.
So either I would take him home some days, or our boss would take him home, because boss, he went out that way. Well, one day it's supposed to be our boss took him home, and boss got sick and had to leave early. Well, I'm welding. Justin, I had my phone sitting there playing music. My buddy Justin that rode with me, they said, your phone's ringing. He said, it's the boss, Brian. I said, well, pick it up. So I'm go ahead and I'm welding, and he's on the phone talking to him, and all of a sudden Justin starts going, Brian, what's going on? What's going on, Brian? I reckon Brian was headed home. He called to ask if we could take Will home, because it's his day to take him home, but he done left.
Yeah.
He called to make sure I could take him. Well, while he was on the phone with Justin, he was coming around that curve at Bart's house.
Okay.
He said he was running about 75, and 5 deer come across the road.
Oh, okay.
He locked it up. And all Justin heard was tires squealing and a big old crash. So Brian, what's going on, Brian? Brian said all 4 deer made it across that last one. He drilled it.
It's always the last one.
Yeah. So he hits it, like I said, he's running 70, 75 mile an hour. He hits that thing, it threw it out, it hit a sign and like wrapped around the pole. But Justin finally got him talking. He said, just hit this deer and all this. And he said, man, I hate that. He said, I killed a deer, meat's gonna go to waste and all this. And I said, well, heck, he goes home out 49. I said, where'd you hit that deer at? He said, I hit it right here in this curve right before you get to this store. I said, that was grocery. He said, yeah. I said, well, don't you worry about that deer meat, son. We'll be off work in about 30 minutes. I'm going to go pick it up. And he said, do what? I said, don't you worry about the meat. So we got done, like I said, about 15 to 30 minutes before shift ended. And me, Justin, Will jumped the truck. I took Will home. Me and Justin go out there. We stop. We unwrap this deer from the road sign, throw it in the bed of the truck. We take off down Dad's house. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Of course it is.
All your
stories. Yeah. All your stories.
Nighttime.
From 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. I don't think I've heard one story.
Don't hang out with Tanner between those
Right.
times. So, Mom and Dad sleep. We just pull down behind the barn, back in. We string this deer up. Well, I've got that burnt hand, and I don't want to be gutting no deer and get whatever bacteria or whatever and all that burn, get it bad infected.
All right, get the deer flu.
Yeah. So I told Justin, I said, you're going to have to get this thing out. And he's fine with it. He good and clean deer before. So he's sitting there, he's cutting on this deer, and I took a picture of it, sent it to the boss. I said, your deer didn't go to waste. We getting meat off of it. And he texts back. He said, oh, I'm so glad. He said, I felt so bad about that little deer. There's a little doe. And about that time, he texted me back. Justin rolled the guts out, and that thing was pregnant. And so just to mess with him, I took a picture of I guess you call it a fetus.
Yeah.
Sent it to him. I said, well, I'm glad you feel good. She was pregnant.
Oh, 2 for 1.
Yeah, I got him. Hey, you didn't have to send me that and all this.
Yeah. All right.
Well, it's about 4:30 or so. I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, Dad's going to work. He's going to see all these barn lights on. He's going to want to know who's down here.
All right.
So I thought, I better go tell him. Which we was pretty much done. We done got scant gutted and mostly quartered. So me and Justin take off walking toward the house. I didn't think nothing of it. I walked up to the kitchen door, which we never use. And Dad's in the kitchen. I seen him as we was walking up. He's getting his lunch and stuff ready. And I walked up that door. I just knocked on it like I would any other time. Wasn't thinking it was 4:30 in the morning. Dad's not ready for somebody to be right at his house. He spun around, and I don't know why he did it, because he's never carried a gun, but he spun around, put a hand on a hip like he was going to draw down on me. And I just kind of threw my hands up like, it's Tanner. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, come over. I scared him good, but yeah. Oh, it was hilarious after he wasn't going to shoot me no more with his imaginary gun.
All right.
But I'll tell you, that was some of the best deer meat I ever had. Well, I put that thing in a slow cooker. Didn't know how to use a slow cooker, but I cooked it for like 2 hours. It was a whole ham.
Yeah.
Bone and all, threw it in there. 2 hours later, we were supposed to be going to a dinner, and I cut in that thing. It's raw. Well, we'll be back in a few hours. We ended up being gone for like 10, 12 hours. That thing cooked for 14 hours in that slow cooker. And it took me over an hour of trying to get the meat out, because I pulled just clean bones. You said there were strainers and everything else trying to get all the meat out of this thing.
Disintegrate.
Oh, yeah, tender.
Yeah. So when you gave Chris those 2 questions, I was thinking, now how's he going to relate
to
getting burnt to eating roadkill?
All right.
And, it all together, but it made me remember a story about roadkill, because whenever you said eating roadkill, I'm not thinking of a deer. I'm thinking
like possum.
or something like that. But
Right.
and thinking of possum made me think of a story, but also, in relation to the deer, the first nice buck, and this guy ain't a buck killer. I go deer hunting.
If
The
it's
bucks
gravel,
don't show up. Well, the bucks don't ever show up.
No.
When I go deer hunting, it's always a doe or a little scrawny buck or something. But first nice deer, well, I guess the biggest deer I've ever killed was a nice 10-pointer. I hit it with my truck. I was going to work. I was carrying a mail, and I had that little Dodge Dakota pickup. It's a permit dad's. And I was headed to work, and right there about Solid Rock Church. Now, it's still dark.
Right.
Right there around Solid Rock Church down here on the end of the ridge. Here it come. And thing was running wide open. I don't know if he was in a rut or what, but I hit him. He, of course, went flying over there in the ditch. And I went on to work, and I called the carrier, Thomas, that I was carrying for, and I said, hey, you're going to have to carry today. I've hit a deer, and I don't know what it's done to my truck as far as radiator or anything like that.
All right.
So he come in, and I helped him get gone and checked the truck out, and it was okay. I mean, I broke the grill and dented the bumper, dented the hood, but I didn't tear like a radiator up. So I was headed back towards home. There was that deer laying in a ditch, and I thought, that's a nice deer. I don't know if the meat be in account, but that's a nice deer. So I loaded it up, took it to, we were living at the old house, took it and strung it up the barn, and Robert come down there, and he said, well, you got to tag that deer. And I said, well, whatever. So I tagged it just for the heck of it. And we gutted that out, and he said, what are you going to do with it? And I said, well, if the meat's any good, we'll keep it. He said, well, I know a guy, an Amish, in Dunville. He said, if you take him, well, I'll just, instead of going into all that, I'll just tell you like this. We loaded that deer up. We gutted it. We took it over to this Amish and dropped it off. And what he would do, and I explained to him, I've hit this deer with the car. The meat may not be any good. If it is, you're welcome to whatever. I didn't want it. And he said, no. He said, I'll split it with you.
do it on a half.
He'll do it on a half. It don't cost a dime, because he's going to feed his family with it.
Right.
And like I said, we done it on halves. And he made what he called bologna. And it's not like you go to the store and buy it. It looks more like summer sausage. It's about that big around. And he would cut it into like rolls, or when he bagged it, it'd be in tubes about yay long, maybe a pound a piece or something. Didn't have any cheese, anything, just straight meat.
Okay.
And I guess it'd be more like in a sausage casing.
Okay.
And when he called me to come pick my deer up, I ended up with 24 pounds of that stuff. And so he ended up with 24 pounds of it. And he was tickled to death. He said, bring me all the deer you got. And I said, well, I don't have any more. It's just the one I hit. I saved the head off of it, and I brought that stuff home. I mean, it was good. I mean, it was just straight deer meat. But, so I guess I have eat roadkill, like you talked. I never did eat all of it. Some of it ended up going bad in the freezer. So, other than that, I don't guess I've ever eaten any roadkill. Have you ever eaten any roadkill?
No, we don't really do that in the
Not a
city.
thing in Louisville.
Right.
I mean, ain't there dead animals on the road up there?
There is, but we just drive over them.
Oh, you don't eat them?
We just ignore them.
Yeah.
I do got a couple dead animal stories, or I got a couple stories about fire.
Well, give us one or something.
Which one you want me to do first?
I don't know.
What was a dead animal we had? I worked for the cable company for 10 years up in Louisville, and we'd go all over. The bad thing about working for the cable company, I was a repair technician and installer, so I was in people's attics and crawl spaces. And guess where animals live?
Attics and crawl spaces.
Crawl spaces. I can't tell you how many times I crawled underneath the house, and I get all the way on the other end, and I see something move. And the other way out is belly crawl, belly slide back out. But the worst was at our own house one time, and I think this was kind of like winter. I remember kind of being like December, January, because in Louisville it could be 65 degrees, or the next day it could be like 35.
Yeah.
And we're in our living room there in our old house, our first house we bought, and we start smelling something. It just seemed off. So we thought maybe I think our son was little, so we thought maybe he put some food somewhere down the vent, because those vent covers you could pop off, and kids like to throw stuff down there. So we start smelling it. We clean the whole house, mop it, clean out the couch. We're still sitting there. I'm like, I still smell it. So then I put my nose down on the floor. I said, Marlena, I'm going to have to go underneath this house.
Yeah.
And I crawled all the way. A possum ended up getting underneath our house, and it couldn't get back out.
Yeah.
So that sucker was dead. Of course, I've seen dead, frozen. I mean, I guess you get up in the attics, you see everything. The scariest was it was an attic you could stand in, which was nice. You all could stand up in it. That's how tall it was. Blows my mind, these houses, you get in their attics and they're 15-foot vaulted space.
All that space.
You could build a whole nother floor up there. But anyways, I'm walking across the joists or like that, and I look and I see something on my left, and it caught my attention. It was a snake skin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm out in the middle of nowhere, one of these country houses. So I pick it up. It was all in insulation. I'm 6 foot, I'm not a little guy. I held that thing up in my head, and it was still dragging the ground. I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to go over there to the camera system. I'm trying to think of an excuse saying, yeah, it's bad. You just need a new one. Like, I didn't want to go and crawl down over there. For some reason, these people, whoever installed their cameras, they mount the whole recorder in the attic. So, of course, their cameras were off, and it was one of those attics you walked across, and then you had to kind of climb down to get down to where above their bedroom. And that's where I saw it. So I get to the attic door, and the customer standing there said, I found something. He said, what'd you find? And I pulled at his eyes, and he's like, yeah, I seen something around. So whatever you do, don't show that to my wife.
Yeah.
Like,
Burn the house down.
But I mean, luckily enough, I've never been attacked by stuff, but of course I've been to attics and squirrels and birds and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But
speaking of, I just got to tell this possum story.
okay.
It's on my mind because we're talking about animals, and this ain't necessarily, one of them died. Raise your hand if you've ever been possum kicking.
I knew this game was coming.
Never been, but I've heard of it.
I heard you're like the legend.
I'm not a legend.
Yeah, we're not going to have like PETA or...
I care less. PETA wants to show up, we can have a conversation. PETA just make me mad now. Fish and wildlife, that's a different story.
Right.
But
is there a season for this?
No. This is just something you do when you're young and dumb. But I had heard about possum kicking years ago, and friend of mine had went when he was in college, and they'd all just get out and ride around. You see a possum and go kick it. And I thought, well, fun's fun, so why not? So one time, me and Ashley, I had that flatbed truck, and we were out running. We were dating. I don't think we were married. We were out
First date.
first. What do y'all do on Liberty? We go kick possums.
We were out running around, and Dad had this farm lease, BJ's farm there on Gum Lick, right down the road here. Dad had this farm lease for tobacco. And, it was a pretty good sized piece of property as far as it wasn't just one little field. You had a couple ridges there. And we were out running around, and we'd be driving around looking for deer and whatnot. And we wasn't spotlighting, but you see a deer, you drive towards them and whatnot. We back here in that field, and we had parked, and we were sitting there talking. And truck's running, headlights are on. And this possum come walking. He was probably 30, 40 feet out. But he come walking right in front of the truck.
Yeah.
And I didn't say a word. I just jumped out. And she's sitting there in the truck. She didn't know what was going on. I jumped out, and I took off after that possum. I kicked it, and it flopped around. And sometimes they play dead. Sometimes they just get up and keep running. But they can't run very fast.
Right.
I kicked it a couple times. I don't think I killed it. But there was another time, and this will be the only other time I'm going to tell this one because it's the only other time you're probably going to hear about possum kicking on here. Tanner, you'd never been, so I guess if you were involved in this, tell me, because I don't remember if you were there or not.
Tanner's like,
Years ago, so my cousins Jake and Ethan, we're roughly the same age as me and Tanner, and so they're first cousins, so we would always be around them or they'd be around us, and we were, or I'm gonna say I was up there with Jake one time, and a buddy of his, Jerry. I'm just gonna say Jerry. That way we don't contradict anybody. But Jerry knows who he is. Jerry's kind of a nut, but I love him to death. He's always fun to be around. But he's kind of Jerry's a lot like Tanner when it comes down to the stuff that he's probably done, and it's probably all happened at night. But we were back in there behind Jerry's dad's place. They've got a grove of hedge apple trees, and I can remember there's 4 of us. I think there were 4 of us because we had 2 shotguns, 2 flashlights.
oh no.
And we were going rabbit hunting
Okay.
at night
So,
in this grove of hedge apples. They was running everywhere in there. And I don't know if it was rabbit season. It don't matter. It's just a story. Excuse me. So I can remember we were back there, and you'd see where you take turns shooting, take turns holding a light. Somebody'd shine a light, kaboom! Somebody'd shoot. I don't think we ever killed a rabbit. I do remember a gun going off like right here. You'd be standing beside somebody, somebody shine a light, there's a rabbit, and whoever the guy was standing beside him with a gun, he just shot, and it was loud and scare you to death. Well, there was this possum showed up,
oh no.
and this was before the possum kicking era. Jerry took off after that possum, pulled a Bowie knife out of his belt that, looked like something Rambo would carry. And if I remember right, he was running, and instead of running up and stabbing this possum, he kind of lunged for it and stretched plumb out, and he had that knife in both hands, and he was going for it, and he stuck it to the ground, stabbed that possum to the ground. Maybe we did kick it. I don't remember. Anyway, killed that possum. I don't know if it was me or him or who killed it, but he died that night. It was just a fun time. I can see it like it's plain as day right at the back of my mind of somebody going after that possum and him stabbing that thing to the ground.
I can't wait to what emails we get.
I don't care. Bring it on. The PETA people. I just ain't no use for people like that.
I know what PETA stands for, right?
What's it stand for?
People eat tasty animals.
They probably disagree with you. But that's the only two I had in mind that I could think of at the time.
Have you got any more cool fire stories?
Well, I don't know if Jerry was involved in this or not.
So I think y'all need to find
Once
some better.
time, no.
Y'all need to find some better friends.
That's all you. These are the best friends.
Oh yeah,
we have. You remember when Jerry and no, it wasn't Jerry. Jared and them come over one night for the farm machinery show.
Yep.
Stayed the night. We all hung out and did things we wasn't supposed to do. Stuff mom and dad don't know about.
Yeah.
They do.
Well, they don't know yet, but might have been some, drinking involved or stuff like that.
Stuff we don't do no more.
Yeah, we were just hanging out there at mom and dad's, and I guess it would have been, there was me and Jared and Tanner. Was Jake and Ethan involved?
I don't know if Jake and Ethan stayed the night. Yeah, they did.
Okay, and then we all got up next morning, and Dad and my Uncle Tim, we all loaded up. This would have been February. We all loaded up and we headed to Louisville to the farm machinery show.
Okay.
I can remember going to Hardee's that next morning and eating, and we always seemed like we always stopped at Hardee's, Junction City, or wherever, and got something to eat. But I have a faint memory, and I don't remember when it was at the time exactly, but it would have been this farm machinery show thing. In the barn, in the stripping room for stripping tobacco, we had a wood stove in there.
Okay.
And I remember was building a fire in that stove, and then we would throw gas in there or whatnot, and it'd shoot a flame out here to that wall. I mean, so it's 1,000 wonders we didn't burn the barn down.
Yeah.
The stuff we did, I mean, I almost burnt Mom and Dad's house down one time.
Yeah.
That outdoor stove he's got out there, can't get a fire to start. Well, gas will start it.
Yeah.
Throw gas in there, get it in a cup, or a bottle, throw it in there, and it ignites, and it ignites on the top of the bottle that you got in your hand, and you drop it, and it hits and splatters, and next thing you know, the room's on fire. And I mean, it's just, I don't know how we didn't burn their house down over the years. Just stupid. There was a time we was burning some stuff Tanner did and I did. I'm gonna tell this little we was talking about a while ago. I remember Mom and Dad had a little burn spot out there behind the house.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a barrel, it was just a spot on the ground.
Spot.
Burn anything and everything out there. And one of us, I'll just tell the story like I was the only one involved. We had, when you're looking for, when you're trying to burn this stuff, and it might be old wood, or it could be boxes or something, well, it wouldn't light, and we needed something to get it to light. So now a lot of older people that may watch this or may not, but you can attest to this, buildings that people used to have, they would, like old cellars or buildings or whatnot, they would take just old clothes or anything you could find, they'd stuff up in the eave as insulation. And we'd go in there and we're looking for stuff to burn. Well, there's no T-shirts, pull that down. Well, I grabbed something one time, there's an old set of pantyhose, and I don't know whose they belong to, but they're kind of oily, petroleum based anyway. So I got them out and knew they'd light up. Well, they don't. They just melt. That's all they do.
All right.
And it seemed like you had them on a stick or the back of a stick and got them lit, and it's a burning. You stick it down in there and you try and get it started, and then you're trying to get it off and it won't come off. And
that's all
next
melted.
thing you know, you swing it and pieces of it go up and they land on you. Yeah. They burn you, and just being a stupid kid.
Yeah.
But I remember one time taking a bottle and had like kerosene in it.
Okay.
Or it could have been gas. I don't remember. And had tossed it on the fire, got the fire going. Well, then, it's got yay much in it, and you got the lid off. You just toss the whole thing in there. Well, what had happened when you tossed that in there, the fire melted the plastic all the way around that liquid and caused a little bomb. What I do? You hit it with a stick, come back. And then you got all this flaming liquid shooting out of there. And I remember getting it on my hands, and that's probably where some of these little scars come from, but just being stupid.
Now, the worst one I had at that fire pit was my 7th grade year's Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And Mom and Dad had bought us a gun safe, a little cheap gun safe for Christmas. Me and him share.
Yeah.
Well, we get everything opened up. Well, you got to burn all the trash. So we take everything out there, and if I remember right, Josh had started the fire, and I went out there, and I'm just sitting beside the fire, kind of squatted down. He went back inside. Well, what I didn't realize was there was a whole bunch of styrofoam that come out of that gun safe and different toys and whatnot. Well, it's all in there burning. And I had this little stick, and like I said, I'm squatted down beside the fire, like right up against it. And I took that stick and I just threw it into the fire. Well, it landed in all that melted styrofoam. It splattered up my arm. And I had 5 or 6 big old spots of just black melted styrofoam. So what do you do when you're middle school and you just got another set of 2nd degree burns? You take off running through the field, slapping your arm like crazy.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I've been on fire a lot, but I've never stopped, drop, and roll.
Yeah.
But I do remember I'm running through the field, and here comes Josh out the house. He's hollering, "What are you doing?" And I'm running through the field, slapping my arm, trying to get it quit. We went inside, and I remember it was about 30 minutes before we had to be at our great-grandma's for Christmas dinner.
Oh, of course.
So I'm sitting there trying to peel black stuff and skin off my arm. It's a burning, and finally Mom handed me an ace bandage, and I wrapped my whole arm up in this thing and went to great-grandma's for Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Ace bandage, and you name your kid
Axel.
Ace.
Aislinn, yeah.
Named her daughter off after Ace. You know, I'm just thinking about this, y'all. All the terror you did to your parents, and y'all both got
Boys.
young boys.
Yeah. They say history repeats itself, or
Y'all a little nervous.
you reap what you sow. The only beneficial part is my kids are separated as far as in age pretty good.
All right.
And
Mine ain't.
my boy is by himself.
He's gonna be like the Sadie. He's gonna be way.
I don't know, I whip him more than she gets whipped.
Yeah, but he'll have that big distance.
Yeah.
By the older two will be gone, and he'll be going.
Yeah, we'll see. I tell you what, I love doing this show because, you know, stories that I ain't even thought of in years just pop in your head, and you just want to tell all of them, and I know we don't have time. How long we been on the show?
I can't even see it. We're good.
6:04.
6:00.
I know what time it is, what time we start.
We've probably been on 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is a completely different story, but it's funny. Tanner, do you remember? And the reason I tell certain these stories is because, you know, Tanner is going to have an opinion or he's going to know about the story.
Right. He's our fact checker.
Yeah. So I dip or chew, whatever you want to call it, and I have for a long time. We grew up raising tobacco. We quit when I was probably 15, 16 years old. Dad took whatever buyout there was at the time, and we quit. But from birth, I mean, Mom and Dad raised tobacco like most everybody around here. That was your Christmas money. That paid bills at the end of the year. So everybody raised tobacco, and whether it was an acre or 100 acres, everybody raised tobacco. And so part of that, you know, you're going to try it. I remember chewing old just straight leaf tobacco. I remember rolling up a leaf and lighting it and smoking it, and I mean, horrible.
Getting sicker than about.
Oh my.
Yeah. So, and we'll have another. I mean, we'll talk about all that some other time, but
Yeah.
this story kind of directly relates to dip. And at this time, I was a kid, and I don't know how old I was, but I was under 15, and it was winter time. It was we had a swimming pool there at Mom and Dad's, and it was raining, and there was a thin layer of slush on top of this pool.
Okay.
You know where I'm going?
You jumped right in.
So, no, sort of. So, Dad, he was picking on us or we was teasing or whatever, and he said something about, go out there and get that pool. And I said, tell you what, because I wanted to dip.
All right.
Couldn't buy it, couldn't afford, you know, whatever. And I told Dad, I said, tell you what, you go buy me a roll of dip. I'll do it, but you owe me 5 cans, which was a roll of Grizzly Wintergreen. And, all right. He said, you got to go all the way under. So I went out there and stripped off in I had my underwear on, walked outside, walked up on that deck. Tanner went out there too. I jumped in that pool, jumped right back out.
Cold.
And I said, hey, where's my dip? And Dad's standing on the porch. You didn't go all the way under. And I didn't. I just jumped in, you know, down to my waist or whatever. Had to go back in. If I wanted that dip, I had to go back in. And so this time I dove in or whatever. And when I come back out there, I come out and I was red, just red as you could be.
I had to hurt.
I don't remember. Kids, you know, as kids, it don't hurt. Stuff like that don't hurt.
All right.
But I was freezing. And now the pool sets, you know, 30 feet from the house.
All right. It's not like right off the back porch.
Yeah. And what happened was when I come up out of that water, my lovely brother here, he took off with my towel. But he didn't go in the house. He took off toward the barn, opposite direction. And instead of me just running in the house,
They cook it in the old house.
I went after him.
He chased me around that yard.
No, I don't know if both of us were in our underwear or not. I wouldn't. But I was, and I'm running, you know, streaking out there. And I called him or got my towel, went in the house, and Dad, he you know, held his end of the bargain. And, you know, that was funny. But
Yeah.
I guess it was that next Sunday we went to church, and Aunt Joyce, who lives across the road,
Just all of it.
she said, Josh, which one of you boys I saw out there running around in your underwear the other day in the rain? So I can imagine she's sitting there washing dishes at her kitchen sink and look out the window and there running around the yard.
The white streak, because, you're this big.
Yeah, I was a little beef out.
She just thought a little lightning bolt flashed over there.
So, that was just a funny story.
Right. Kids don't do drugs.
Yeah, well, this was before all that.
They gonna put on there the things you do for love? Is that what's...
I don't know. It wasn't for love, though.
Oh.
Things you'll do for a buzz. Get somewhere about it. I was looking for some dip.
Here we go. Kids don't dip.
No, don't dip. Don't ever get started.
No, don't dip.
It's a horrible
We got
thing.
some young listeners, too. That's one.
I know it. But we can talk about it.
People at church, we got some teenagers that'll listen to it.
Yeah. Your son, he loves listening to it.
My son likes it. His daughter hates it.
Yeah, I reckon there's kids at school that'll play it and she gets embarrassed about it, or I don't know, but
I think she's just embarrassed of you.
she is. She's afraid I'm gonna embarrass her. Man, it's coming. The best is yet to come. I could say I've got a little black book with ideas wrote down.
She's only got about 4 more years left, and she's gone.
4.5. Yep. And then I'll have to go to college to embarrass her.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Tanner, you got any more stories? I mean, anything off the top of your head?
Now I'm trying to think something along the lines of topics we talked about.
Well, that's a wide variety.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've got one story with Jerry and Jake and them and us. I'm trying to remember when it happened, because you were driving, we went up there, but it was snowing. You remember we went, Jerry, John, me and you, Jake and Ethan, I think we went across the road, across 127, and we found that old road tie.
There where Jake used to live.
Yeah.
The one we crawled through.
Not the one in the road. We found the one, we rolled it up at top of that hill.
I don't remember that.
Well, we went off some old farm, and like I said, snow was on. We're just walking through some dude's farm, and there's old plastic road tie.
Okay.
Pipe, wherever.
Yeah.
Well, it was, that thing probably 2 foot wide on the inside, so we ended up rolling this thing top of the hill just to roll it back down. I mean, we was bored. But one of them got in it.
I was going to say somebody was out to get it.
And we rolled it down the hill, and then that was fun. So we'd push that thing back up, and 2 of them got in it. And they went head first from either end and kind of locked arms to hold themselves in, because as you rolled down, you'd work your way out of it.
All right.
We did that a few times. We got tired of pushing up that hill. And I remember the last one down was John. He stayed in it all the way to the bottom. And John was Jerry's little brother.
Okay.
And as older brothers do, they torment the younger brother the best they can. So as soon as he got to the bottom, Jerry picked that towel up and stood it up with John inside of it. And I don't know why.
I remember that.
I guess he didn't want to knock or make himself fall over, but Jerry stood that thing up and took off running. I mean, he probably got a good 50 foot from him and stopped. And here he come back full sprint and jump and drop kick this thing.
With his brother.
With his brother, and just boomed.
It's like a cartoon.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Old brother probably think it was hilarious.
No, probably not. But
Hey, go tell mom.
no, we wouldn't nowhere near his house.
Oh.
Now Jerry, he's like Josh said, he's character now.
Oh, yeah. I hadn't seen him in a long time. We were down there camping.
Yeah.
And this little boy come over there and was playing with Harper. And Mom said, "What's your name?" And he said, "Jerry Wayne." And she thought, ain't no way. Ain't no way there's another one running around. And, well, what's your daddy's name? Jerry? Yep, sure is. I went and found him. And
Well, I think Dad told the boys, said, "You go tell your daddy Josh Edwards says hello."
yeah, and then here they come back.
And here comes Jerry.
Yeah,
Like,
Jerry was like, well, I don't think the little boy told him Edwards. He just said Josh said hello or something. And
yeah.
he brought him back, and there we were. So we had
Y'all reunited.
we were, I hadn't seen him in a long time.
That's like one of those.
He lives in Houstonville.
Okay.
Like I say, he's from Lincoln County. real quick, I'll tell this one because we're on the topic of Jerry. You remember that time we was camping at Holmes Bend and them dogs were in that tent
Oh, Lord.
next to us? So
That was a crazy camping weekend.
yeah.
for
So
me.
you remember on the last episode, Tanner told that story about being at Holmes Bend and him
Walking
going
to the bank.
Yeah, walking. Well, we was down there about them same sites, and 104, 105, whatever it was, and we were at our camp, and then there was, Jake, Nathan, and me, and Tanner, and Jerry, and we was all there hanging out. Mom and Dad, and of course, and I guess Mom and Dad and them had done went to bed. Well, the next side over was these college kids, and they didn't have a camper or nothing. They was just in a box,
Enclosed trailer.
and they had two little tents set up out there, and they were in that enclosed trailer playing cards, playing poker, whatever. There was 4 or 5 of them. And we were sitting, at our fire pit, having a good time, being boys, and next door to us there was those two tents. And at some point, that one tent got to moving. And these are little tents. These are little 2-3 man tents.
Right.
Well, them tents get to moving. You get to hearing noises, and all of a sudden, that tent jumped straight up. The stakes come out of the ground, and that tent went rolling over the hill, just barrel rolling. And we're like, what in the world's going on? And what it was is they had 2 dogs that they'd put in there, and them dogs got in a fight.
Oh no!
And they went. So we went over there and we said, "Hey, your all's tent just went to the bottom of this hill." And they freaked out, Well, we go down there and help them, and they finally find the dog's still fighting, and you're trying to find that zipper, and they got the dogs out, and Jerry was there for that. Well, we went camping last year, or maybe even 2 years ago, and I hadn't been to Holmes Bend in years. But like I said, as I told this story, them dogs, they shot over this hill.
Right.
But they ain't no hill.
All right.
As a kid,
It looked like a.
it looked like a bluff as a kid. That's just the memory I have. I mean, it's almost flat as this floor. It does slope down some, but it ain't much.
But see, I don't know if I went to the trailer with y'all, but I remember when that tent took off and they was rolling down the hill. I walked down there because I thought it was somebody.
Yeah.
And when it stopped, I got to it and I said, hello, are you all right? And I seen something like moving the tent real quick. I said, are you okay? And that dog lunged towards me. It scared me to death. I took off running back up to where they was.
Yeah.
And that's when, I guess when Josh told me, like, hey, y'all, whoever's in this tent just took off over the hillside. And one was like, oh, you better go get them dogs.
Them dogs over there.
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody owns a dog.
No.
I got a little foo-foo out there running around. Odie.
I got 2 of them I'd give away.
Yeah.
But another thing that happened that year when we was camping, with the year of helping dogs, me and cousin Ethan, I think it was, we was up there at like the volleyball court area.
Okay.
And there's this boy, he was probably our age, a little bit older. He was riding his bicycle around, he was hooting and hollering and just being annoying in general. And, but he would not shut up. And he'd getting on my nerves. It kept getting worse. He'd follow us around. And I finally, we went on about our way. Well, we would, at nighttime, it done get dark, we'd just walk around. When we was young, didn't care. We'd walking in the dark. It was fun. Well, we walk up toward that playground area, and there sat his bicycle. And I thought, well, we'll get him, being annoying to us. And me and Ethan, we threw his bicycle on top of the bathhouse.
Oh no.
And I'm trying to remember. I think it's the next day we might have been leaving. And as we were pulling out, I remember Dad saying, well, somebody's bicycle's on top of that bathhouse. I just kept my mouth shut.
So they don't know about this.
I think I've told them since then, but I don't remember.
That's the thing. We've done a lot of stupid stuff as kids, and that you don't tell anybody until you grown, till you become an adult. And then you tell on yourself, well, what are they going to do now?
Yeah.
They can't whip you.
I know.
I mean, they might make you pay for it, but
Your dad.
I remember one time we shot every light bulb out of Dad's barn with BB guns.
You told me about that. Yeah.
Shot because the back of barn, you got lights up in the
Ceiling.
ceiling area, and so you can hang at night or whatever. And we're booking down, and I remember doing it, shooting every light out. We get up in the barn loft and take them BB guns me and Tanner had. We
got in trouble a lot.
Did y'all have like a little war? Y'all shoot each other with them?
I don't remember. Not really.
No, not really.
I mean, I shot Tanner in the eye one time on accident.
Well, he didn't get me in the eye. It ricocheted off a wall, but it caught me right there.
Kind of in a tear duct. And what I was going to say is those BB guns were in Mom and Dad's possession more than they were in our possession.
Right, because y'all would shoot.
I mean, I remember one time we was standing on the trampoline,
Jumping up and down.
trying to shoot holes through the trampoline with a BB gun.
We'd be shooting like this, jumping on, shooting right between our feet, and them things bouncing off, flying past our head.
I don't see how they made it this long. Your parents.
We peppered the back of the house.
Yeah.
We found out a little bitty BB. We put about a quarter-size hole in vinyl siding.
Yeah, I bet it does.
And we peppered the back of the house, tore it siding all to pieces.
Man, I would hate to be your parents.
What else did we do? We did a lot more.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Broke Mom's crock pot.
Okay.
I remember that.
Shot
that crock pot, it broke it. The glass insert,
Yeah.
Yeah, shattered it.
Inside or outside?
It was outside.
Outside, it was probably cold, and that glass was cold, and I shot it. It didn't explode, it just cracked.
Gotcha.
Just done.
What'd you do? Like, oh no.
I got in trouble. I don't remember. We done all kinds of stupid stuff. But on the back to the barn lights, shot every one of them lights out and blamed cousin Ethan.
No.
Because
No wonder these houses don't come around.
I think what happened was we done it, and then Dad, he went down to the barn however later that was, he went down to the barn and he saw glass. And he thought, well, Bird got up there and he knocked the lamp loose or whatever.
Hits the light switch and nothing comes off.
Hit the light switch and there ain't a light one. He gets looking and there's like the shattered glass just sitting up there instead of a light bulb. And I guess he asked one of us, and we wasn't going to tell on each other. We blamed Ethan, who wasn't there. Well, when Ethan came back, Dad got a hold of him, wore him out, or John wore him out. Somebody whipped him.
He got a whooping for it.
He got a whooping for it.
Oh, poor Ethan. I don't even know this Ethan guy, but buddy, there's no telling how many whippings this poor guy got because he was friends with you.
Yeah.
Or
And
just
then-
related to you.
And then, years go by, and it comes up in conversation one time of Dad talking about, Ethan shot barn lights out
And
or
you
something.
start giggling.
We just start giggling, laughing, and say, well, there's something you don't know.
And then he
shot the barn lights.
And then he feels bad because he just whooped this boy. Where's Daddy?
Here's the thing.
He
We
was
got
coming.
many whippings as kids that
They all run
my
together.
dad, I don't think, felt bad. If I go out here right now, and I jerk up one of my kids and I whip them, as a parent, it hurts you to do that.
Right.
You don't want to have to do it, but it's what they need. I think at some point, probably by age 5, Mom and Dad didn't have any feeling anymore.
No.
They figured this is useless. It's not working.
It become a daily thing. And
It's like, it's not, it wouldn't be a normal day if they didn't spank you.
I'm trying to think. Which we tore up a lot of stuff as kids.
yeah.
Like me and Josh, we got in a fight one time. Cousin Jake was there. We started fighting in the living room, and Mom and Dad, we just finished their addition, master bed and bathroom. But we started fighting in the living room. We ended up in their bedroom, into the bathroom. Josh kind of just threw me into the door.
But I hit the door like this.
Yeah, I hit the door on the short side.
Oh, no.
And we knocked the door, trim, and all off the wall.
How you cover up something like that? Yeah.
Now,
Say,
before we added that on, that used to be kitchen bathroom.
Okay.
And
that's where I got my last whipping.
yeah,
Okay.
with Josh, we got to messing around, wrestling in the living room, and we fell. I hit my head, and I got mad, and it turned into a fight. And I chased him in the bathroom, and he shut that door as right as I come up to it. And I just hit it, and them little flimsy doors, I put a hole about halfway through it with my fist. And I remember I was hoping he was going to be holding that door back like this. And I took the broom and I speared it through the door about head level. And I pulled it out. And luckily, he was on the other side of the room. But that's when I realized when I'm looking through the door at Josh, I'm like, oh no, there's a hole in the door.
Brand new door. So I can figure out now why your dad's so handy.
Yeah,
Because y'all broke so much
he's had to fix all his own stuff, so save money. Go ahead.
The funniest part of it was we didn't know how to fix the door, so we were going to cover it up.
With what?
Well, it's a brown door, about that color brown. So we took silver duct tape and we just started layering it on.
Yeah.
Well, Dad gets home and we just going to shut up about it. We ain't going to say nothing.
He'll never know.
Dad, boys, come in the kitchen for a second.
And you just knew.
Yeah, Father, what do you need?
What art thou problem?
He said, why is there duct tape covering a portion of the door this big? I said, we just thought we'd put it on there. And then he peels it off and he's looking into the bathroom. No, we had to tell him what happened.
New air
Then the belt comes off.
Well, I don't remember if we got a whooping.
We got so many I can't keep up with.
Well, if I remember right, at that time we was working on like farm stuff. I thought we had to pay for the door.
Well, we might have had. I don't remember.
Well, you still probably got a whooping though too.
When we took the door and trim all off the wall, we didn't get a whooping or nothing. We just had to fix it and pay whatever we broke. But I don't think we broke anything. We just pushed everything off the wall.
Yeah.
Out of the finish nails.
I remember a time I was driving and we was raising the bike at the time, and me and Jared wanted to go somewhere. Jared come home with me after school, and I come home, drop my stuff off, whatever, change clothes, whatever. Me and Jared was going to go run around. And Dad, I told him, I said, we're leaving. He said, He said, you're going to help book it, either book down the bike or strip at one. And I said, I don't really want to do that. He's like, I don't care what you want to do. This is what you're going to do. And we helped for a little bit. And I said, can we go? And he said, hang on a minute. He said, lay your hand right there on the table. And I don't remember why he did this, but I said, why? He said, just lay your hand on the table. And I laid it down, and he had a backing knife over here in his hand.
Uh-huh.
And he said, I don't remember what he said, but he acted like he was going to chop my fingers off or something. And it was all just a joke.
It's like if you move, you can't go kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know, but
All right.
I can just remember that happening. And he didn't. I got all my digits.
All right.
Yeah, this episode could get a little bit of excitement.
There's stories all over the place on this. It's just
That's all good.
Just a mashup. We'll call it a goulash or a jambalaya.
All right. The Chronicles of the Edwards Boys.
I had jambalaya last night.
Did you? I ain't had none in a while.
I can't even spell jambalaya, so
Jambalaya.
there you go.
Jambalaya. Well, we'll shut it down.
I got one story I want to finish. It's short.
Of course you do.
It's short. It's about catching on fire.
There we go. I like this.
Yeah, this was
Whoa. Say it again.
catching on fire.
One more time.
Fire.
No.
Catching.
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 Catching or catching?
Catching.
Catching. I don't that's city boy proper.
Don't make fun of me.
You're going to have to learn how to talk, right?
I'm trying, okay? So the hardest part about making these podcast videos is the captions. Sometimes y'all say stuff and that word is not what you said, and I gotta retype it. Sometimes I just leave it because I'm like, I don't have time to sit here and fix every word. I can't wait to say it's gonna say FAR. You got fire. Yeah. FAR or fire. Ain't no telling what it's gonna pop up. But this happened in college. I went to Spalding University, which is downtown on 4th Street, and it's down there in a rough part, kind of the hoodish area, a lot of homeless people. And we had to take a elective. And I said, there was a class, it was like welding, and it was like an art class. So we create art with metal art. And, we get in there, me and Marlena's cousin Chad, and we're in this class, and then the instructor's going on about how he's got a perfect record. No one's ever blew anything up. No one's ever got hurt or, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Zero accidents. It's kind of like watching a basketball game when the guy's shooting a free throw and he's like, he ain't missed all night.
He misses.
Misses.
Jinx
So
himself.
there's this, he tells you what to wear. If you're welding, there's certain things you don't need to wear.
Yeah.
Well, this girl comes in one day and, we're downtown and she's wearing a FUBU full outfit, pants and jacket.
Real quick, Tanner, do you know what FUBU means? Okay, well, I didn't either until I met this guy.
All right.
Apparently, FUBU is a brand of clothing that
Or most African Americans
most
wear.
black people wear. I don't know why.
Like the multicolored, like
No, it is like all,
clothes, or
no, it's all black.
You'll see a lot of them. They'll wear like sweatpants,
Yeah, it's like a sweatpants,
like a
sweatsuit,
sporty sweatsuit.
but like highly flammable. It's like real shiny. Like you don't need to be wearing this. Right. It's kind of like you talk about the styrofoam. That's pretty much what it looks like.
Yeah.
So she's sitting there and she's welding, she's making something, and we'll look down. Of course, you're cutting metal plates. You got a little throw ups. Yeah. Well, we look down, her legs on fire. She freaks out. Well, she's got a torch and got two of the tanks there. You got your gas and whatever's in the tanks there. I can't remember because I don't weld. And, usually there's buckets of water around you. So you weld something, you dip it in, it cools it off so you can move on. Well, when she looks down, she knows her leg's on fire. What she does is just drops the torch. It's on right next to the tanks.
Mm.
And we thought, me and my buddy Chad, we thought, that's it. We're dead. That thing was going. And then we had another friend of ours. His name was, he's from Bardstown. He's kind of a country boy. A lot of the guys, your pants will be all, he's doing that. And we looked down. I said, Dustin, your pants are on, your leg's on fire. And he didn't. He looked down. And he's like, oh no! And he started hopping around and ended up putting his boot in the bucket of water. But I'll never forget that. I mean, this has been.
There was a boy.
2007. I think y'all were just being born, maybe.
And no, I was born in 95.
Oh, you're about 10.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Old boy down Case County at weld shop. I didn't get to see it, but the teacher told us about it. His pants boot cut.
Yeah.
It was fringed out and everything.
That's what happened his.
Yeah. Well, he caught fire.
Yeah.
Well, apparently he didn't notice it.
Yeah.
Well, the boy noticed it and freaked out. And instead of being like, hey man, and like putting it out a little bit, I was told he tackled him to the ground. And then instead of patting it out, he stood up and commenced to kicking him. Just full panic mode. He said that boy had a little burn spot about maybe the size of a nipple. His whole leg was bruised from that boy just steel-toed kicking him. I don't know if he had something against him. He had beef with that dude. I guess. There's my ticket right
Took
there.
his opportunity down. And I'm going to get back at you.
But anyways, I couldn't go without telling that story, that one.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Always wear your proper PPE and clothing when welding, because I like I said, I've caught fire many times. Most time was welding. Other times was my fault.
Yeah. But
I don't guess I've ever been on fire. I mean, I've been burnt, but not on fire.
Yeah, I've been burned. I was little. I think I was like 4 or 5, and my mom said, hey, the pizza's done, get it out. Well, I always thought, I knew she grabbed something to grab the pizza out.
Yeah.
But I didn't know exactly, so I grabbed a paper towel.
There you go.
Reached in there and grabbed that sucker out, buddy. It hurt.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson that day.
Don't know what to use, but don't use paper towel.
My hand blistered up, and then I think my dad was more mad at me because I dropped the pizza.
Yeah.
We didn't have no dinner.
Now he's going to have to wait another hour till he gets his pizza.
He could care less probably about my hand. He was more mad that we had no dinner.
There you go.
But anyways, I enjoy sitting here and listening to these stories. We've had a lot of comments of, hey, I've had something similar. Don't forget, you can email us there at rootedinliberty@gmail.com. And if you got something funny, let us know. We can read it on here. But, if you from Liberty, we're getting a lot of feedback. Hey, I got some family members, or, I enjoyed, this reminds me of going to Grandpa's house and just sitting there
Sitting there talking.
Sitting there talking.
Stories are going to well, even now, like every morning at S&T, there's 4 or 5 old men there they're just sitting around talking.
Yeah.
And
Telling stories.
remember that old Papa's old store they had that pew as a bench or a pew, and there'd be 4 or 5 old men in there just
Papaw, Watson, Kenneth.
just telling stories.
Just talking.
And I just
Something like you see in a movie, right?
yeah.
Let me ask you this. I know we've gone over, but it's okay. Feel like we ain't done this in about 4 weeks. You know,
It's what it feels like.
Yeah.
right? To y'all, we just did one last week.
Yeah.
But
Truth is, we shot everything the week before Christmas. We shot 3 episodes.
Matt was trying to figure out titles. I'm thinking, which one did we?
Yeah.
I had to go back and watch it 4 times.
Yeah. So if you remember, we were like, it feels like only yesterday.
All right. It was only last year.
Yeah.
I ain't done a podcast. We ain't recorded one since the last year.
First one of the year.
So this is the first Happy New Year. Hope everybody's year's going great. And let me ask you this real quick. Did y'all have like a barbershop kind of, you go in and they're just old guys sitting there talking in the chairs and stuff like that?
So we had one in Liberty, but I don't ever remember there being old men sitting in there. It was an old barbershop,
Right.
Holtz, which is over around where the Mexican restaurant is in town.
Yeah.
Daryl and Glenn.
Yeah. They're 2 brothers.
Yeah.
Had 2 chairs, and you went in there, had a little waiting room, and all was in that waiting room was the chairs and a gumball machine,
Oh, yeah.
little quarter, whatever. Then you went around the wall, and you had the 2 chairs, and there was a big mirror on one wall, and you remember those big calendars? You still get them, big huge calendar, and have like a duck scene or something on it. They'd have those. And they had a little back room where they'd go in there and do whatever.
Right.
But they give you a haircut and
$5.
$5 a haircut.
And
as boys,
I would pay $10.
Yeah, it was. And as boys, they gave us that chewing gum.
Oh, okay.
When you got done,
Like bazooka or something?
well, it was the yellow or pink wrapper, double bubble or whatever it was.
Yeah, I don't remember the name.
They had a thing. He'll say, "Get you a piece of that candy out of there. Get you a piece of gum."
Oh, yeah.
And
that sucker's dry in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can remember this real quick. Dad took us one time. He'd always take us the same day to get a haircut.
Yeah.
Well, no sense making more than one trip.
Right.
And we both got the Nike check mark.
Oh, y'all got convinced your dad to do that?
Yep. And Mom liked to have a fit.
I bet she did.
We had to go back or something.
All right.
She wouldn't gonna have it. Was it on the side or on the back?
I want to say it's on the side. That's what people used to like.
Yeah. I remember getting that done. I remember seeing it, and she had a fit.
I can see it. Anthony, take those boys back.
We either he took us back or they trimmed or something. We didn't get to keep them hairstyles.
And I always wanted something like that in my hair.
We can do that.
Yeah.
I always
saw.
I got trimmers upstairs.
There we go.
We'll do that in a minute.
Well, I saw a video the other day. I guess it was either somewhere here, but the guy went in and was like, "Hey, I want this haircut." We'll still have the play button where he screenshot it. So the guy put the play button on the side of his head.
That's dirty.
Yeah.
Whenever I was little, preacher we had, Brother Dwight Kaufman.
Yeah.
He was balding, so the entire top of his head was bald, and he had brown hair around the side and the back. And I remember every time I went in Holt's barber shop, they said, "How you want it cut?" I said, "Give me a Brother Dwight special." I wanted the top of my head shaved so bad I couldn't stand it. And I would fight and argue with Mom and Dad, like, "I want it just like Brother Dwight." "No, you are not getting your hair cut." Like,
I think I saw a video of a guy who got something like that. He had a hat on, you couldn't tell. He took it off. The sucker was. I heard of this. If you can't grow it, mow it.
There you go.
Well, here's what we need to do.
All right.
We all 3 this week need to go get a specialty haircut
Yeah.
and show it off next week. Or we could all go get the same haircut.
Yeah.
We can all go get our Brother Dwight.
Hey, I've got a mohawk before.
I just gotta be careful. I can't show up to church.
You put your toboggan on.
We have a mohawk going on.
Yeah, we'll go see Brandon. All right.
Well, we'll get off here.
Got to plug our sponsor real quick.
Oh,
Almost
I forgot
forgot.
about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Vintage Honey there. If you find her on Facebook, Instagram, I think she's on TikTok too. And she had some good Christmas, I guess, kind of the flavors. And I got a couple there, Bread of Life, and they were really good. I asked her today if she had anything new, but she said no. And you can find her at the Bread of Life here in Liberty. And I think Russell Springs, you can find her at the Save-A-Lot. And I think it was like the market.
Fruit market?
Fruit market, yeah. But message her, she can do custom stuff for birthdays. We did stuff for the teachers. We bought them in gallon jugs for your church. Super great lady here in town, and she helps us out with whatever some things we need. So
yeah,
we greatly appreciate her.
Yep, go check her out and get you some lemonade.
Yeah,
this ain't your Opie Taylor lemonade stand. You know, she's a little bigger than that, but but
it's good.
All right. Well, hey, let's do this little thing.
Okay.
I've been wanting to play this word game.
Oh, word game.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do. I'm going to
No. So what we do is I'm going to say a word.
We got it.
And we're going to make a sentence. And we're just going to keep going. But you only get to say one word. Right. So it'll go, me, you just trying to make a sentence, right?
It says like I say boy, you can say goes.
See what I'm saying? You're just making a sentence. So.
You know how to make a sentence?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we'll just go this away.
Okay.
Instead of that away.
Okay.
Because it's my game and I get to choose.
It's my game. It's my house.
But, I don't want to, that's right. I don't want to start out like simple, like the. I'm going to start out with a unique word, and then Tanner, you'll go next and so forth. Okay? Right. Possums.
Are
cute. And
trees.
You only got a few.
I know.
You got like 5 seconds.
Forest.
What?
I don't know. Forest.
Okay, let's just start over.
I lost. I'm not smart at this. Okay.
Here we go. We'll do one more.
All right.
Now you only get let's say 5 seconds.
Okay.
And if you don't blurt out a word,
you can go.
You lose.
Okay.
I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah.
Bugs.
Fly.
Fast.
It's
like Budweiser.
Yeah.
So what's the point of this?
It's just funny. It just
he saw this on another podcast. He
puts you on the spot, and you got to come up with a word.
All right, he's working on improvises.
Yeah.
Let's do this again. One more game. One more round.
You want to start?
Sure.
My turn next.
Okay. Incredible.
Hawk. Smashes.
Trees.
With.
Fists.
Then.
Jumps.
On.
Cars.
Period.
Yay. All right. Well.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for tuning in.
Yes, fine.
We hope this is probably going to be a little longer episode, but just put on your laughing cap and sit down and chew the fat with us.
Yeah.
Enjoy the stories.
Yeah.
Come back.
Yeah.
Come back next week. We'll have you another one.
Yeah.
Tuned in.
You gonna surprise us again?
I might.
He's gonna take off.
He's going here. That's fine.
He's gonna call into work sick. I'm like, hey, we saw you on the podcast. Well,
we filmed that the other day.
All right.
Yeah. So, anyways, thanks again, and like, share, subscribe, follow, comment.
Send us a hat.
Send me them hats.
Yeah. You got a product you want us to try?
Yeah. 2330 Wilson Ridge Road, Liberty, Kentucky, 42539. Attention, Rooted in Liberty podcast. And we'll talk about you.
Yeah. And that's my always I never think about that, like telling people where I live. Well, they just look me up. They can find the church's address. Anyway, I can't hide out no more.
Yeah.
But
hey, and you got God on your side. You don't have to hide.
But y'all stay warm, okay? I'm kind of glad to get out of the house because most of us been trapped at home.
We've had a little winter storm.
Yeah, kids been out of school, wife's been out of school. Mess with my free time.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I love y'all.
All right, we love you too.
All right, buddy.
Lots of luck to you and yours.
Yeah, bye.